Today I will be showing you how to build a simple job seeker application tracker Notion template. And so you know, for those of you who are only interested in the template, I will be giving this for you completely free. Link will be provided in the description below or in the pinned comment below. So if you're not interested to know how to build it, you can get the template right away, absolutely free of charge. But for those of you that are interested to know how to build this small dashboard for yourself, stick around. We're gonna be going through the entire process and it will be fun. I do want to give a special thanks and shout out to the Notion School Community, Notion YouTuber Academy. This is a school community hosted by Chris Punt, and he has been really great in terms of lots of tutorials, courses and classes. If you want to try it out for yourself and learn how to build these templates like I do, then you can actually join this community. I will be providing link in the description. This is a small referral link for which I do get a little small kickback, so you're also supporting me while joining at the school. School is a paid community, but it's well worth it because it's a community of like-minded individuals who are grouped around certain topic. In this case, it is the making money with Notions. I also like to do a special thanks to Joshua Wanschwit, who has actually created a step-by-step template for how to build those templates, which is one of the templates that I have been using throughout. So this is the Joshua's template, and just a small shout out because I found this template to be really helpful and intuitive for me, who am trying to build a new template. This actually takes you through the entire process, step-by-step guide. Through the ideation and validation, so you need first to consider who is this template for, and when you're applying to jobs, this might be very helpful. Then the second stage would be building the actual template, and here I have created a blueprint in Figma. What database will there be, what fields, what are the relevant documents, what are the job board links, all the stuff that you need to have to be productive and to be able to do this on your own. There will also be a paid version of the job seeker dashboard that has a lot more advanced features. For example, you could set your daily goals, how many jobs you want to apply to, how many jobs you want to find per day. And this can be done for each individual day. For example, on Sunday, you don't need to find any jobs, while on Monday you want to find 5 jobs and apply to 3 jobs of those. So you can actually set these goals yourself in the paid version that I will be publishing sometime later on. And if you get my free template, you're gonna get notified when new templates come out, so just in case you're interested. It also features a lot more advanced stuff like keeping track of your daily progress, including how many jobs you have found per day and how many jobs you have applied to. So it's also a little bit of, how do you say, motivation tracker and making sure that you are accountable. It also will support like the CV and resume success rate. So every time a CV earns you an interview, which is the main role of it, this one will actually track. So if you have multiple CVs and cover letters, this one will actually give you feedback, letting you know which CV is giving you the best feedback, which I think it's really important when you're sending out tens of applications out there. You want to know which CV performs the best, and also the cover letter. So, first off, we will be starting in my dedicated page that I use to build all new templates. It's a training dojo, and there I'm gonna create a separate page. This new page will be the foundation for our future job seeker application tracker. So we're gonna call it Job Application Tracker. So we're gonna create a brand new page, we're gonna make it full width, and we're gonna call it Job Application Tracker Template. I want to give it also an icon, and I want to find a very nice cover for it. So after looking on the internet, I wasn't able to find anything, but I took an AI to generate me in the Job Seeker Application Tracker. So this is something that actually Canva made for me directly by just typing in the prompt. I think it's actually quite a decent cover. It gives you that vibe of actually job seeking and doing stuff. And just take a look at it. I think it looks actually kind of cool. So the first thing that I want to build is the CV and cover letter area. This is where you will be having your CVs and cover letters stored. Now, for this, since we're building a free template, there's gonna be only one place for CV, but in multiple versions, because the company sometimes requests CV in different formats. So we're gonna just call this CV resume. We're gonna be putting something like an embed link. So here you can actually just click and either upload your own CV, or you can actually link your Google Docs or whatever actually works for you. I'm also thinking to put an additional 2 formats, or 3 formats. They're going to be the docx, which is the typical Word format, the document, and the PDF, because employers can sometimes be fiddly. They can require multiple versions, or some want the PDF, some want the document, and to spare you the unnecessary changing of formats, we're just going to put everything in so it's right on your fingertips whenever you desire to do that. So let's put us some icon, and let's see, for CV, what can we say? Document. I actually think that this scroll works pretty nicely. So this is the place where you will be just copy pasting whatever. And let me just see, is there a bigger way? Yeah, actually this icon is too small. Let's remove it. This looks a little bit better in my opinion. So right now we're actually gonna duplicate and do the same for the cover letters, because it's pretty much the same. Sometimes for the cover letters you want also PDFs, documents, and sometimes you just want to have a copy-paste. So right now I'm thinking I want to create 2 or 3 columns. We're gonna see how it works. And we're gonna post CV resume here, and we're gonna place it like this. Okay, let me just see. Maybe actually here makes a little bit more sense. Hold on. Yeah. Something like this. And here we want to have a list of all of our jobs that we apply, or the links. I want to be adding tasks to this list, because sometimes you have a small to-do list that requires, it doesn't need to be a full-on database. It can be simple tasks like update CV, update cover letter, and maybe update your LinkedIn profile, because those are actually also important for the job search. So now we're going with the relevant links that represent you and your own task list of how to go about and do them. Then we're gonna create a callout, and we're gonna be storing it in the callout, and we're gonna be placing it like this. So we have our tasks, we have our CV resume, and we have our cover letter. Either one of those will be working fine. So I'm thinking we would need another database now. So database will be the bread and butter. This is where all of these applications data will be stored. We're gonna hide the database table, and we're gonna rename it applications. Yeah. And let's find a decent icon for that. I actually a firm believer that all these things really need to be beautiful, because that it needs to be fun for an applicant or a person like you to use. We're going to rename the name to the job position, because it is after all the job position that you're applying to. Then we're going to be adding more fields, so all the relevant information from that Figma database, URL, which is actually the link to the job posting. Then we're going to be saying what is the link source. So I want to keep track where are most of my job postings coming from. So I would like to have a link source. Then we need the status of the application. So is it like, to apply? Did we apply? Are we at interview phase? We want to know where we are going with it. Then we want to be storing an application date, so that I have a rough idea saying, okay, did I apply few days ago? Did I apply like a month ago? And then I want to have another date type property, which is last communication date. And we're going to do some advanced stuff with the last communication date, because this will actually tell you if your job application got stale. By stale meaning, okay, we've last heard from this company, let's say 1 month ago or 2 months ago. That would actually give you a good indication that maybe you should make more applications, because, well, maybe it's no answer. That's also something that I really want to make sure that we nail here within this template. So let's see, now we have our database. We do want to add some icons, and here I want to just make sure that they look kind of nice. URL can be this link. This is a drop-down link source. Status is okay. Application and last communication date. We can actually change these later, and the company. So let's add a couple of sample postings. So we have business analyst, which is actually my main job. We can just copy paste some random LinkedIn adverts. The source is actually LinkedIn. Great. And I actually like LinkedIn. This is kind of blue. So let's select it so it's blue. And status, we have, okay, status we need to modify. The default, not started, we can actually customize it. Let's say we're going to call this one to apply, or something like considering, not applied. something that would indicate us that we still need to take action. Then in the progress, we can actually say applied. Then the next in progress would be an interview, because an interview would be the next step. Then we can actually have maybe the reference check. So reference check typically comes when they're already decided they're going to take you, but they need to just check references. And then the done can be actually accepted, which when you have gotten an offer and you have accepted it, then we can obviously need to have rejected. In case you get rejected, then people tell you, you know, thank you for your attention, we have chosen to go with other candidates. Happened to me more than once. And then we can have the new state, stale. Stale is an orange state, and I don't think it's a complete state, but let's say we have this as initial steps. I also wanted to differentiate where we have rejected by the employer and rejected by me. So let's say I've gotten an offer, I don't think it's a good offer, and then I want to, you know, I said no. So there is a difference, because when you're tracking the success statistics of a CV, if I'm rejecting the offer, the CV did its job. It secured me an interview and everything else. So yeah, we want to make sure that we track those. I'm actually just posting in some random LinkedIn ads that I have found on the internet. There's no particular reason, I haven't applied to those myself, but it's just more like adding. So status is, this one is considering. This is just sample data to see how the data performs in your database tables. Alright, so let's say type of position. Now since I will be having probably multiple versions of the CV in my pay template, I might as well say, okay, job, let's say location. Some of the jobs are remote, on-site, or hybrid. I personally prefer hybrid or remote, because on-site is, well, I have 2 small kids which are taking most of my time, so that means fully on-site and just, you know, making food and doing the house and laundry, it gets a little bit tedious. So that's why my preference is hybrid or remote. But I'm just putting like software test manager, which is another one of the skills that I have acquired over the years. Let's say this is remote. Source of it is also LinkedIn. We're considering it. We haven't applied yet. And let's say the company will be tests. Now we have 2 different types and we have some data inside. So we have application board. I also want to have a Kanban board where we can actually just keep track of our progress. And then we can have a calendar view of the dates when we have last applied. I typically hide this because I really do want to have some sort of tracking, you know, an idea. When was it the last time I applied? So all of this information I found to be quite important when you're doing in your job application process. I've gone through this process numerous times, so I thought might be handy. Let's see. Do we have any to-do list or clipboard or something like that? Yeah. Let's make these tasks pretty. I think that looks pretty nice. And now we have to figure out how to make the layout of the new dashboard. Well, it's not dashboard, it's a template. I'm gonna change my mind probably like 10 times during this process, so bear with it. So now let's see how does it look on a smaller screen, because obviously I have a huge screen which sometimes can impair my vision. So you need to take a look at it from different perspectives. Board, we're gonna be hiding the database title and we're gonna rename the board. So we're gonna call this progress. So we're gonna take actually business analyst and let's change the status. So let's say application date status. We're gonna just rearrange the fields so they make sense. We want first status, we want the company, the URL to the job, what's the link source, where did we get the link, what's the location, you know, wise type, so it's a hybrid position. And then we want to make sure that we have actually changed the state. Let's just make this database a little bit more pretty. I also want to add last edited time so that those that I have been working with recently pop up. This is just a good practice. You don't need to show it every time, but I think it's kind of cool to have this field inside your database for whatever reasons of sorting, like most recent applications or whatever. There we go. Okay, so that looks nice. Now I have to make sure that what is the main thing that I'm doing. Probably the applications should go above it. Here I'm gonna create a separate callout, we're gonna make a separate heading, and we're gonna call positions to apply. So we are now creating a nice box callout. So I think using callouts, this is something that I actually learned from Chris. So Chris, if you're watching this, big thank you for that. Callouts are really handy for structuring your data. Then you get like a mini window that you can actually move around from to different places, and it actually clips in pretty nicely. I think it's a great way to keep things organized in your template. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna find some sort of nice cool emoji. Let's say positions. What is positions associated with people? Maybe job, or yeah, office worker. That actually seems pretty nice. I'm gonna delete this heading and I'm gonna drag this database inside. There we go. Obviously it's not gonna be placed there, we need a full view, but let me just rearrange my CV, cover letter and all that jazz. So see how easy it is to move callouts? I'm telling you, this is really a big deal. Now, actually this one I might want to remove. Let's just drag the line somewhat like here. So we have now table and everything. I mean, the CV and cover letter can be below until I find a better position for them. Now let's see, we're gonna have another heading, and this one we're gonna be calling favorite job boards, because you might have your links like, I don't know, Monster, LinkedIn, whatever you find, whichever place you're typically going when you're looking and applying for jobs. It's always handy to have these as, shortcuts. You just basically come to your dashboard, you click, let's see, what's new today on LinkedIn, or what's new today on monster.com. So, yeah. So I'm just thinking I want to just mention these, and if you put them as mentions, then they will be having a small, pop-up once you can use them as links. And let's say indeed.com. This is a Swedish site, so I don't know if it doesn't work out for you. Feel free to change this list to whatever suits you the best. I mean, the purpose of these templates is to make your process of applying to jobs simple and fun. Now, today we live in an online connected world, and obviously all of us have some sort of profiles already present online. So for example, like your LinkedIn profile or profiles that you have already filled out. And if you're more of an artist person, you might have an online portfolio. You might also want to have links to all of your social profiles. Okay, maybe not Facebook or TikTok, maybe so, maybe your YouTube. It doesn't matter. So you do want to add all of your profiles at your fingertips. So I'm pasting my, let's say, URL as of my LinkedIn profile, and I'm posting a few more just to have it. For example, I had a Flickr account where I had a lot of nice pictures, so I thought it might be cool, and I have a YouTube channel for the gaming. Just shows you, your diversity and whatnot. For some positions it might be applicable, for some it might not. This is just your job board to make sure that you actually have it. And finally, I decided to add my Gumroad where I'm selling all these templates. You can find them free and paid, so feel free to check it out. I will be providing it in the link below in case you might need some other templates like my YouTuber Stag template or all-in-one dashboard. Now I'm thinking this actually looks kind of nice, but I want to customize my Kanban board. Let's see, properties, we have job positions. We also want to show which company is it for. We don't need the link source, maybe where did we see it? And what's maybe the location and last communication date. So when did we last hear about the position? So let's just populate this. We're gonna actually change this to applied, and we're gonna set the application date, and we're gonna set the last communication date to, let's say, the same day, because I applied, so that was the date of last communication. So this progress will actually give you a snapshot of how you're progressing, and also calendar view is gonna show you, aha, so on the 6th you have applied. So let's see, we can actually also put here like company and maybe, I don't know, last communication date. These are the 3 different views that you can use, so I think that actually looks cool. So now we're gonna be creating a new button. This button will be to add this job position. So I always like to use buttons for managing, because you can actually do a lot of automation as well with buttons. So let's see, let's find a good icon. We're gonna make it green because this is like dark and green theme, which I actually find quite pleasing. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna create a new template. So when this is being done, we're gonna add like icons. So new job posting, and status should be considering. URL, is there anything that we could fill out? No, last edited time. Well, last edited time gets populated at the time of creation, I guess. Okay, so When you click this button, you will be adding a page to Application Tracker Database as new page. Good. So you're adding it at pre-populated as template. So if ever we need to modify or add anything else, we're gonna just populating the template. And after it's done, we're gonna open the page added in the center peak. So now we're gonna find a best place for it. We can actually put it like here, new job posting. So whenever we add it, new stuff is being added. However, I would actually thinking I probably want to have a call out. So let's first go do the heading. We're going to call it shortcuts. We're going to change the color background to green. And let's see, can we find a call out, place it inside? Can we do some sort of emoji? We're going to be placing the button inside, so it actually looks kind of nice. And then we're going to move the whole call out to the top. Let's add a custom emoji. For the shortcuts, I don't know what to find, maybe. Yeah, so let's go do a thumbs up, and I think it will be just fine. So we're now testing. We're gonna add a new position. It's called test lead. It's gonna be on-site position. Company is gonna be called Nordea, which is one of the Swedish banks. I found an application on the LinkedIn, and as you can see, we are populating and we have added a small nice icon. So let's say for this business analyst that I've gotten the interview, and for the software test manager, I just want to be placing them at different states just to make sure that I'm doing some sort of calculation, that I have sample data in my database. Alright, and I thought here it might be actually nice that we have some sort of a clock, which is telling you what's the time, because if you're on an iPad you might not be able to see the clock, so I figured let's put in like a clock that we had. So I'm going to create a call out. You can go to indify.co, and there you can actually create a profile and you can create your own widget. I have created this like flip clock large for the job seeker, and I actually find it quite nice. You can actually customize it and try different links and types. You can have like analog smooth, or you can have any type of clocks that you would like, but I found this flip clock to really work well with the design aesthetic. So you actually get a copy link, you copy paste it, and then you just paste the link, embed, and there it is. Looks perfect, doesn't it? So let's place it just above the shortcuts. I obviously want to resize it so it's a bit smaller. Yeah, and it fits nicely. So this is how you actually add like a widget template, just to make sure that it fits this style pretty well. Now we're gonna be making sure that we put filtering. So the status here is we don't want to be showing accepted or rejected. And maybe we can even filter out the no answer so that those are actually which are active. And let's save it for everybody. Now, we're going to be doing some automations, and this is actually a little bit more advanced, and it's relying to the application and last communication date, because those fields will be telling us. So let's say we are going to create a new field which is called days since last application, because we don't want to be manually inspecting all those fields. We want the system or the template to tell us there has been like 20 days since your last application. That means, okay, I'm not hearing from this company, so maybe I should be continuing searching further. So we're going to be creating this like a formula, and we can say applied before. So this is like text concatenation, because I think it will be good because it gives us and we're going to put date between, which is going to calculate how much time has elapsed in terms of since application date to today. So we're going to subtract application date from today, and we're gonna count how many days, and base days. So this is gonna give us a text report. You have applied before how many days? So look, applied before 4 days, applied before 39 days, applied before 123 days. And I want to do the same for the last communication date. So we're gonna duplicate this, and we're gonna say days since last communication. The reason for me to doing this is actually to be able to filter out job postings where the communications has stopped. Sometimes the companies tell you thank you, but we're going with other candidates, and sometimes they just stop communicating. And in this case, this is the point to weed these out and actually put them away. So you're not under impression, oh, I have applied to tens of companies, but only one of them is being active. So you really want to filter those out. And we have created the same thing for the last communication. So properties, I also want to show, and I have put those applied before 39 days, last communication 11 days ago. So the progress tracker is the perfect place where we can actually have these properties displayed properly. Now these ones are actually textual, where they will be standing on your report. Now we want to create another type which is just numerical. So I'm gonna deliberately create the scenario where I have last communication 39 days ago and another one that has been like long gone, which should be actually filtered out of this table, because I want to show you how to create automation. So now we're actually duplicating the property days since last communication because I want to have this as a number. So here we have date between today, last communication date, to number. I will need this data for making some sort of advanced automations where it will be determining whether or not the job has become stale or no applied. So for this, you want to use a brand new automation that's available in the most recent version of Notion, where you have automation running every day. And let's say we're running every day at midnight, and we're going to be editing pages in the application tracker DB that match a specific filter. The status is applied or an interview, so it's basically ongoing. We are waiting to either hear from the company or that we have already been on some interview. And the last communications is more than 30 days. So if that happens, go to the status and mark it as stale. And we're gonna be calling it stale application warning. So if you don't hear from the company within 30 days, the job is gonna be marked as stale. Now, but it's still gonna be on this board. It will just be flagging you, oh, maybe you need to take some action. There's another one, we're gonna say at 11:45, starting today, what we're gonna do, we're gonna say edit pages in the application tracker in DB, where the status is actually stale. Because when the job gets stale, then if we don't hear and the last comms is more than 60 days, so we allow a 30 days to stay stale rule, but if it's more, the status will be marked as no answer and the job posting is going to get filtered out of our board. So this will actually keep our board clean and hopefully relevant. Let's just edit the name. Right. So we're going to actually test this. As you can tell, at this moment of me recording is 11:33. So I expect that one of those job postings will become stale and one of them will be marked as no answer. So we're actually gonna test this theory. I think it will be fun to see and test the Notion automation. So let's go. See, I have a no answer test. And right now all 3 jobs are marked as applied. Actually, for the automation to work, I need to mark the no answer to be stale because it has already gone through the process. We're still gonna test on the test lead that the stale notification works. So now all we need to wait is for 11:43, and hopefully this should be happening rather soon. Let's see, days since last communication, we have stale and applied. And there we go. Note that I cannot manually trigger these automations, they are being triggered by time. So hopefully within the next minute you should be able to see that the status of test lead should become stale and the no answer test should be filtered out of this view as no answered. There we go. And as you can tell, the automation ran and the test lead has become stale, while if you look at all, you can see that the no answer test has been marked as no answer and it has been removed from my board. I think this will keep your template actually fresh and all of the jobs that you have active and relevant. Anyway, I hope you liked today's video and tutorial how to build this small job seeker application tracker template. And if you will be interested at this time when I publish this video, if the dashboard or the paid version will be available, I will also be linking it in the description below or at the end card of this video. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and do fling a like at this. I'm just starting a new channel, so I would really appreciate your support in terms of likes, and if you would like to be notified the next time I post a video, then do subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.